Hi, it's Corrine. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I am trying out a craft mat from Glassboard Studios, and I wanted to show the benefits of this beautiful craft mat. I've been crafting on glass mats for probably about 20 years, but this is my first time using a Glassboard Studio glass mat, and this is also a magnetic mat. If you've not used a magnetic mat, you simply have to try it out. I will link down in the description box a discount code for you. I would highly suggest you go over to their website, check out all that they offer. They have super strong magnets. They have the most beautiful craft mats to choose from, whether you want a design craft mat, if you want a white craft mat. I personally like the white craft mat, and I love the quality of this. Their bar magnets, Mega Mag rulers, are super strong. They have pawn magnets. They have several to choose from, and they're very strong magnets that work well with the glass board. They are always coming out with new products. They have this Hexaflex organizer set, which you can configure to any way that suits your needs best, and you can buy multiple of them and have them go across the entire glass mat. So here's a close-up look. It's got a beautiful guide. It's got easy to read measurements, so you can lay out your card base, your junk journal, scrapbook page, whatever you're working with, even sewing. Here is the Hexaflex organizer, and it's great for holding paintbrushes, pens. I have my reverse tweezers in there. I have my glue. I have scissors, just everything that I need. So here I'm showing you, it has specific measurements. So whether you're working with 8.5 by 11, 5 by 7, an A2 standard card base, an A6, whatever size that you're working, it has measurement guides that you can just use your magnets and keep your paper in place. I love the guide at the bottom. I use that all the time for measurement. It's great for cutting ribbon. It's great for just doing a quick measurement on your project. One of my favorite things about a glass craft mat is being able to glue directly on it. And if the glue seeps out, it's super easy to clean up. Or die cuts or card bases together, you can just simply place your heavy magnet. You can also place a paperweight over it and just set it to the side to dry. I like to use a little bit of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, to clean my craft mat off, but you can use whatever you prefer to use. You can use a glass cleaner, you can use water, you can use Myers. To me, I have alcohol right next to me. It dries quickly and it cleans up everything. So I like to use a microfiber cloth. I like to use baby wipes or even a paper towel. And another thing that I love to do is use the magnets to hold down my card base. So when I'm gluing on a matting, like the inside mat of a card or the outside mat, it holds it in place to kind of keep my hands out of the way and allows me to see what I'm doing and be able to glue it down. And then I just place my magnets on to give it a moment to dry. So when stamping, if you want to stamp an all-over pattern, you may sometimes go off of your card base. Again, easy to clean up. I just spray a little bit of alcohol and wipe it up. And that was pigment ink that I was using, and it wipes up super easy. I also wanted to show that embossing powder. If you get a little bit of embossing powder, which it seems to be inevitable, you can just use a Swiffer cloth, clean it up, or just your microfiber cloth or a paper towel. I also love that these are heat resistant. You can take your heat gun. We all know how hot these heat guns get, and you can take it right to your glass mat. You do not have to worry about, like you do with a self-healing mat, bubbling up or getting burnt. It'll also protect your work surface. Another thing you can use that I did not show is hot glue. If hot glue gets on your craft mat, it's again easy to kind of pick off and clean up. So I love using my glass mat also as a paint palette. You can use it for anything, paint, inks, ink directly onto it. You can also ink smush your palette if you want to do that. And here I'm using re-inker as well. So any type of alcohol inks or anything like that, you can put directly onto your mat. You do not have to worry about it staining. It cleans up beautifully. And I just use a water pen, add a little bit water to the side, and then you can watercolor like normal. You can use crayons, inks, markers. You do not have to worry about anything staining. So I put down this large, strong magnet, and you can ink blend directly onto it. I like to stamp off first to take that harsh line away, and then you can ink directly onto your paper. Your magnets will hold it in place, and you can also spray it with water, and it just cleans up beautifully. So here I've sprayed a little more water to reactivate that ink that I had on the side, and you can just pick that up with your paper to give yourself a nice inky background. So again, using my magnet, you can take a brayer directly to it. You don't have to worry about making a mess. And a lot of times, if you're not moving on to the next project, you can use up that ink for other background papers. And even though I don't use one today, I gave a quick look at a gel press. That works beautifully on a glass mat because it just holds on to the mat itself. Here I'm just inking up an embossing folder, not worrying that I'm going off of the embossing folder. And that's the joy in a craft mat like this, is it takes out the worry that you're going to stain something. It does not hold on to color, unlike a self-healing craft mat. You can also cut on these. I choose not to because it can leave marks, being that they are scratch resistant, but they are not scratch proof. The grid marks help with measuring, aligning, spacing the designs evenly. They're great for card making. They're great for scrapbooking. They're also great for layering stencils. Using those magnetic mats, it'll hold your layering stencils in place, and so it makes everything just so easy to clean up. You can also tape it down if you prefer not to use the magnets, but the magnets are super quick and easy to use. So I pulled out an Altenew grip mat, and I wanted to show if you don't take the backing off, you can move it around and turn it as you need it. But if you choose to take the backing off, it will grip onto your craft mat, which is nice because then that will hold your paper in place, and you can ink blend, you can stamp, whatever you choose to do. It works perfectly. I love that it also holds my ink cubes, whether they're cubes or full ink pads. It also works great with this craft mat. It'll kind of hold it in place. One of my favorite things that I've discovered is when I'm making mini albums and I need to adhere down the hinge, the magnets are strong enough that it will hold my mini album cover in place while I glue on the hinge. I know my husband's happy about that because I do not have to call him into my craft room to hold it while I put the hinge in place. So another thing I absolutely love about working with a glass mat is being able to write down notes with a Sharpie marker. Believe it or not, this is something I use a lot. When I'm working with mini albums and I have to figure out the hinge size, the inside pages, the pocket pages, as I'm figuring it out, I will usually jot down up in the top right-hand corner the measurements that I need. So as I'm cutting out the products, I can just quickly glance over at my glass mat and cut out what I need. And I've left it on there for weeks and it just cleans off. If you leave it on there a long time, just spray it with the alcohol, let it sit for just a minute, and it'll clean off perfectly. So whether it's paint, watercolor, alcohol ink sprays, nothing soaks in. Everything stays on the surface until you clean it. Even paint. So here is acrylic paint. Again, I have let that dry before, and you just take some water to it and clean it up. I usually will wipe it off with a paper towel, then take a baby wipe to it, and then maybe quickly go over it with a little bit of alcohol and my microfiber cloth just to dry it up. So as long as you protect the back of your work surface, you can also use sprays. And again, you can use extra background papers to pick up that ink. thank you so much for stopping by. And remember that there's a discount code down in the description box. I would highly recommend Glassboard Studio. It has changed everything in my craft room. I personally would not want to work without one of these in my craft room, and Glassboard Studio is top notch. So check out the description box. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section and leave me a comment. Let me know if you also have worked with a glass mat, and if so, have you worked with the magnetic mats as well? Have a great day, and thanks so much for stopping by.